Also today, so you learn something new every day. I had no idea that the law was different for cats and dogs in terms of what people have to do if, God forbid, they run one over. So, for example, did you realise that if you run over a dog, you have to report it, but if you run over a cat, you don't? Well, Taya Ivy from Worthing is not happy with this. She has set up a campaign group, Cats Lives Matter, and she joins us live from Waitrose, I understand, this afternoon, Taya.
Hello, how are you?
We only have the best quality calls on this
well,
on this programme, darling.
I'm sort of like hiding in the baby formula section.
Brilliant, brilliant. Thing is, that's just the norm in Waitrose, though. I'm just doing a live radio interview, darling. That's what we do.
Oh, obviously.
So tell us a little bit more about what you're calling for.
Well, I think there's a huge petition going around at the moment that wants to add cats to the Road Traffic Act, and I don't know how much you know about that, but that is the law that says that you have to report it if you hit a dog and other livestock, but not cats. But we are actually not really interested in having cats added to the Road Traffic Act because it would limit their freedoms. And it's also about establishing liability. So what we are campaigning for and what we're writing is actually new legislation that's, aimed specifically at cats and their welfare, as opposed to establishing liability.
I see. So would you still want people to report the fact that they'd hit a cat?
Yes. So our plan would be basically that it would be illegal to hit a cat and not do anything to report or help. And the statistics show that actually 25% of cats that are hit by cars, it will be fatal, but actually that means that 75% of the time they could actually be saved or helped if they received medical care.
Yeah, if somebody knew.
To leave a cat to die alone in those circumstances, I think, sort of falls under animal cruelty, in my opinion.
I guess in the defence of people who perhaps have hit a cat and driven off, I suppose I'm trying to sort of think what's going through their head at the time. I guess they're of the opinion, oh, well, who am I going to tell for a start? Because obviously, cats do have, as you've already said yourself, they do have a different sense of freedom, don't they, than to dogs? They kind of go out on their own. So if you are to hit a cat, it's not as if you can definitely say, oh, well, he must come from that house over there. I mean, who should you report it to? Maybe people don't know what to do and they panic.
I think that's predominantly what is happening, is that people are just very uninformed about what their options are. If people hit a cat, the first thing to note is that actually most cats are microchipped, and we do campaign as well for mandatory microchipping for cats. That's law for dogs, but again, not a law for cats.
Right.
If you take a cat that's injured to a vet, they are not going to charge you for it, and they can scan the animal and give them emergency care. So there's no reason really to drive off, because you're not going to be financially responsible. You're not going to be liable for any damages or anything like that. It's really just about making sure that an owner either, has the best chance for their animal or gets closure in the event that they are killed. So it's really not about, sort of blame. And we do understand that a lot of people just simply don't know what to do, so they probably panic and drive off. But
yeah, and as you say, they might be worried about a huge vet's bill at the end of it. So it's really good that you get that message out there. And it must be awful as a cat owner if your cat goes missing and you never know what happened.
Well, the other side of this coin, and we do work with councils nationwide to implement mandatory scanning procedures by councils as well, because a lot of times councils will take away cats that are found on the roads and bin them and landfill them without scanning their microchip and notifying the owner. So imagine, from an owner's perspective, not only are you looking for your animal, but then you find out that your animal has ended up in a landfill and you were none the wiser, even though you took the time to have your animal microchipped so that wouldn't happen.
Oh gosh, that's awful.
Yeah.
You can find out more about Taya's campaign at www.catsmatter.org. Listen, thank you so much for interrupting your Waitrose shop.
No worries.
Do pop in something from the Essentials range, something like, I don't know, Essential brioche or something.
Chips,
Essential tortilla chips. You can't live without them.